Hey guys, today I'm going to take a look at my first ever gel ball sniper rifle. This is the Remington MSR, or modular sniper rifle, made by JY. This blaster was sent to me for free to review by Tac Toys. The MSR is not an exclusive to them though, a lot of different retailers are stocking it, so do your research, shop around, but if you do end up buying it from Tac Toys, save yourself 10% with the discount code BRAD. This is how the blaster looks straight out of the box. It doesn't come with a scope, just the bare blaster. I did take this to a game today, so I can quickly show you my personal setup. I've got a Hollow Sun red dot sight, battery pack for the Runcam 2 scope cam, and an aftermarket mock suppressor to cover the Riser V2 hop-up. None of these things come with the blaster, but you can definitely customize it to your liking. This blaster uses a combination of metal and nylon parts. For instance, the bolt is metal, the inner barrel's metal, the trigger guard and internal trigger assembly, including the sear, are all metal. The stock adjustments are metal, and the safety's metal. The MSR has a rubberized grip, which after holding it for most of the day is actually quite comfortable. And pretty much everything else on this blaster is all nylon, including sadly the piston, which may limit your upgrades outside of the upgrades it comes with in the box. Included in the box is a stronger spring, which I used for the whole day without any issues. I'll show you how to install that later. It also comes with an optional longer barrel that I'll also show you how to install, but honestly, after running the numbers on it, the longer barrel seems to be just for cosmetic purposes. The air volume of the cylinder is less than the volume of this longer barrel, so all it ends up doing is dropping your FPS by about 20 and making your accuracy worse. The magazine is battery powered by this tiny little one cell that takes about 5 minutes to charge. It didn't go flat on me at the game, but with such a quick recharge you could do that in between rounds. Total capacity of the mag seems to be about 40 gels, which lasts quite a while when you're using a bolt action blaster. So now I think I've gone over all the externals, let's head inside and go over some of the internals, starting with how to change the barrel. First up, you need to remove 2 bolts on top of the blaster, and 2 bolts at the front of the magwell. Once you've done that, your handguard should slide straight off. Now you need to undo 2 more bolts on the bottom of the blaster, and the entire receiver will pull out. Remove the feeding tube with these 3 little screws, then you can rotate the locking ring and detach your barrel. Now while I've got the barrel off, I want to point out a flaw with the blaster and how to fix it if it happens to yours. Over time, my inner barrel became loose in the T-piece. So loose that I could easily pull it out, and it made setting my hop up really hard because the barrel kept rotating. The fix for this would be to glue the barrel into the T-piece, and to access your T-piece, all you need to do from here is undo 2 more screws and slide it out the back. I, however, plan to upgrade my barrel eventually, so I opted for a temporary fix by wrapping Teflon tape around the barrel, shoving it into the T-piece, and then wrapping electrical tape around the outside to secure it all. From here, the entire inner barrel and T-piece slot in the back of the outer, and you fasten those 2 screws back up and secure the T-piece. For reassembly of the blaster, just do everything in reverse, put your barrel back on, tighten the ring and screw your feeding tube back into place with those 3 screws. From this point, you can just put the receiver back where it came from, fasten all the bolts you removed, and the blaster's good to go. But from here I'm going to instead change the spring. Remove the cap at the back of your bolt. Make sure not to lose the little nub that sits inside of it. Then remove the metal spring rest. That's the part your spring compresses against when you rack the bolt. Now push out the pin at the back of the bolt and undo the 2 little screws. Make sure as you do this to apply some forward pressure on your bolt handle, otherwise the spring and spring guard's going to shoot across the room like this. Grab your new spring and slide it in where the old one was. And get something long like a screwdriver, or in my case I used a Nerf barrel, and push the spring guide in past where the metal spring rest inserts, and slot the spring rest in behind it to lock it there. You might only be able to get a little way in by hand. Get something to tap it the rest of the way in. Now with the spring back in place, you can take your time putting the screws and pin back in. But eventually you want to reattach the end cap, reassemble your blaster just like you would have after changing the barrel, simply by fastening all the bolts you removed, and now the blaster is successfully upgraded. Now, out of the box, this blaster only hits around 240 feet per second with the short barrel. With the long barrel, that drops to about 220. With the longer barrel and the upgraded spring, you'll get about 290, but for the best performance with this blaster, you'll want to use the stronger spring and the short barrel, which I'll chrony in a second. But first, I'll point out another issue with this blaster. It seems to randomly double feed gels and fires 2 gels with one single trigger pull. It doesn't do it every shot, but if you watch the chrony, pretty much any shot below 300 FPS means it fired 2 gels at once. When it's not shooting 2 gels, the MSR with the stronger spring and short barrel averages about 314 FPS, but out of 15 shots, 4 of them fired 2 gels at a time. If anyone knows a way to fix this, please comment down below and I'll pin your comment to the top. But now let's check out the accuracy of this blaster against a human-sized target at 30 meters. If you didn't believe me that it double feeds, you're about to see it happen. That's a very impressive spread. 3 of the 4 shots that missed were part of a double feed, where the other gel actually did hit the target. So really there was only technically 1 person who would have gotten away from these shots. And after playing with this at a game, I'll tell you the double feeds didn't seem to have any kind of negative impact on my shots. If anything, it actually increased my chance to hit. It would be good to find out what's causing it though, and hopefully by the time you watch this, someone might have commented down below with a solution. But there you have it guys. The Remington MSR Gel Blaster from JY. Solid external build quality, some nylon parts internally such as the piston which hamper its upgrade potential a little bit. The inner barrel needs to be glued in and for some reason it occasionally double feeds gels. Overall though, I had a lot of fun playing with this blaster at a game, and I'd definitely bring it out again. The chance to hit at 30 meters seems to be ever so slightly higher than any other gel blaster I currently own. Whether the trade-off in rate of fire is worth it compared to an AEG, I'd have to say no, it definitely isn't, but for a blaster that's really fun to use, look no further. It's just so satisfying to pull the trigger once, one gel goes and hits a target. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe and all that jazz. Stay tuned for some bonus content.
Hi. Hey guys, I've got Junius from the Gelsoft AU Discord. He's volunteered to be a 30-meter target for the MSR accuracy test. Let's see if it's shooting. Yep. It actually fired 2 gels. Fired 2 again. Keep shooting 2. Whoop. Oh, did it hit you? Ah. Let's go. Yeah, a lot of double shots. I think even with fully grown AKAs, it double shoots a lot.
Isn't it priming a little bit too much? Like 2 gels instead of 1?
Possibly. If we push this, pushes out like 4 gels.